Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great week. I know I am, and I'm here again to share with you some tried, tested and proven ways in which you can grow your business. Now today I want to talk to you about a saying that I heard many years ago from a guy called Rohn. Jim was the guy that taught Tony Robbins all he knows, and he was somebody who certainly I've learned a lot from over many years. Now Jim has got a saying, and it goes like this: if you want to be successful, you need to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Now, if you're the owner of a small business, then I know that you're working really hard on your job. Why? Because you've got 1,000 jobs. You know, you're chief bottle washer, you have to do all the admin and the bookkeeping and the marketing and the selling, apart from servicing customers. So if you just take a step back from this and look, you know, what is your objective? Why did you get into business? What do you want to try to achieve in your business? And you actually spent a few minutes going through that and actually, you know, writing down your goals for the next, you know, week, month, quarter, year, 5 years, then you're probably going to find that you're not actually moving in the direction of where you should be going, because what you're doing is actually you're working all your time. In fact, often, you know, 12 hours a day on the job. In other words, working on the job, doing the work of the business. And that isn't what you need to do in order to grow a business. You've got to work on the business. And so if that's the case, then you need to work on yourself. Because if you're I don't know, you turn over 100 grand or 100 million, it doesn't really matter. If you want to get from 100 million to a billion, or from 100,000 to a million, or from startup to 100,000, you've got to grow. You've got to become better. What have you got to become better at? You've got to become better at selling and marketing your products and services. You know, end of story. You know, you can spend your time doing it, marketing it, shipping it, selling it, you know, doing whatever. But if you're serious about growing your business, then you've got to become serious about developing yourself, your skills, and the key business skills that are going to help you grow your business. I'll give you a great example. I get a lot of people coming to me, you know, I'm known as a sort of an expert in marketing, and one of my areas of expertise within the big marketing picture is LinkedIn. You know, we've done really well in our business at marketing ourselves on LinkedIn. I've won a lot of business, probably win about 40 to 50% of our business right now on LinkedIn. And so if that's the case, then I've got to know what to do in order to do that. And yet most of the people I speak to, nearly everybody's on LinkedIn and hardly anybody knows what to do. You know, they say to me things like, well, you know, I'm on LinkedIn, Steve, but I don't really quite understand it and I don't really do anything. Or I also get people saying to me things like, well, you know, I've tried Google pay-per-click advertising, AdWords, and it doesn't really work for us in our industry. Or, you know, well, Facebook, I get LinkedIn, but I don't really get Facebook. You know, Facebook's not a good thing to advertise my business on, is it, Steve? Because I'm in, you know, business, B2B. Now, you know, all those statements are totally and utterly wrong. The truth of the matter is that the Facebook advertising, or the pay-per-click advertising, or the LinkedIn marketing that particular company was doing, it's not that it was wrong, it's that they were doing it wrong. So in other words, they were doing the right marketing wrong. And I see that so often. And when I ask them, well, you know, how much training have you done in pay-per-click advertising? They go, well, none really. I just went in there and did it myself. And I say, well, you know, what about search engine optimization? Well, we've never really done any of that. I don't know what to do, Steve. What about LinkedIn? Well, no, I've never done any training in LinkedIn. I've just gone in there and played a little bit. You know, in 2018, when I'm recording this and going forward over the next 4 or 5 years, you cannot afford to not train yourself, because, you know, back in the good old days when I started, you know, marketing was really simple. You know, you bought the biggest Yellow Pages advert you could afford. You sent out loads of letters, and you know, you did some advertising in local magazines and newspapers and so on and so forth. Now, I mean, heck, you know, it's so competitive. There's so much choice. It's so technical. You know, you almost need to be a full-time marketer just to keep up with things. And, you know, that makes life really, really difficult for small businesses. So in my advice, in culmination to this video, you've got to do one of two things. Actually, you've got to do both of them. Number one, you've got to improve yourself. Number two, the other option is to outsource it to someone who is an expert. Now, I say who is, the hyphen on the is there. You know, there's a lot of people out there who will tell you they're an expert, and actually their level of expertise is not what it should be. So you need to be careful with that one. But really, you know, if you're going to do number two, if you're going to outsource your search engine optimization, you're going to buy in that service, then for me it makes really good sense that you at least understand what you're buying. So you've got at least a reasonable level, so you know what good looks like. So when you speak to a search engine sort of expert person, then you know whether they've got a level of expertise or not. You know when you speak to that pay-per-click advertising person, how good is that person? How good is their level of expertise? Because we want it up there, don't we? We want a high level of expertise there. And that, I think, is really, really important. So that's all I'm going to say. If you want to know more from me, obviously go to my website, which is www.stevemills.co. On there, there's lots of information. There's lots of free training. There's lots of paid-for training, workshops and online training, LinkedIn training, I mentioned, search engines, internet marketing, you name it. Go and have a look. And if we can help you further, it'd be fantastic to be able to help you to hopefully take your business to where you want it to go. Thank you ever so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.